All right, as an athlete, it's really important that we keep our body moving really, really well and prepare our body for quality movement during our training sessions, but also in between training sessions, get back to moving well, because as we train really hard, we're going to get stiff and tight and sore, and things are just going to get locked up. So it's important that we keep things moving, and a foam roll is a really, really good tool for this. So little series that I like to do just to get my hips and my shoulders, upper back, keep it moving. So we're going to start with the hips. So sit on top of the foam roll. I'm going to lean on my right butt cheek. You're going to go about 30 seconds to a minute on each body part. So 30 seconds on my right butt cheek, 30 seconds on my left butt cheek. And just kind of roll all the way up and down on that butt cheek. Get that glute. And if you've got any knots, so like right in there, I'm feeling a knot. So you can just kind of sit on that knot and try to relax into it. We want to make sure that we're not stiffing our muscles up and like squeezing and trying to protect them. We want to relax into those knots. So get in there all the way across. You can cross your leg, get some of those hip rotators involved as well. All right, then we're going to roll up onto the IT band, so that's the outside. We want to get the outside of our thigh all the way from the outside of our hip all the way down to our knee. So we're just going to roll up on that side, kick the other leg out in front, get all the way up across the top of that hip on the outside, and then down. And this one's usually a really tender spot for most people. And you can just kind of rotate back and forth. A little front to back action on this one. Feels really good in a bad, kind of good kind of way. And again, just want to make sure we're relaxing into that as we feel those tight spots. Spend a little bit of extra time on the tight spots, even though those tend to be the spots that don't feel quite so good. Just make sure you're spending all that time getting all the way up, all the way down, and breathing into it, relaxing into it. Try not to tense up and fight it. All right, then we just roll up onto the front of our hip. Really want to get up there in those hip flexors, and then all the way down into the quad. So again, you can kind of roll side to side, find some of those tight spots. Right, there's a tight spot for me today. So I'm just going to spend a little extra time. Take a nice deep breath, try to let that relax and shut off. And you can see I'm just trying to move my legs so that I'm not tensing up and fighting it. A lot of times we can get like really stiff and tight, flex that quad and kind of fight it, and that won't let the muscle relax. We really want to just relax into it. And again, on that quad, all the way down to the top of the knee. Going side to side to see if we can find any of those tight spots. And just kind of relaxing into it. All right, and then we want to make sure we get the inner thigh as well. So we're going to get up in the groin, just going to lay perpendicular, so this thing is going to be right next to us. Kick that leg up out to the side, and you're just going to roll all the way up into that groin. Again, making sure if you find any of those tight spots, kind of get some of those hip rotators. Relax into it. Take some nice deep breaths in, relax into it. can see I'm just moving around a little bit to try to get some of those hip rotators involved as well. You'll find some different angles and some different tight spots if you move. Just kind of rotate your leg, rotate your hip, straighten your leg, bend your knee. You're gonna find some things. Anytime you move a joint around, it's gonna open up some new tissue. So you just wanna kind of feel in there, find what you can find, and get it dug out. All right, so you're gonna do that on both sides. I'm just gonna show one for today, and then we're gonna go to our upper back. We wanna get our thoracic spine, so from the base of our rib cage up, I just want to give myself a nice little bear hug here so that I can open up some of that soft tissue in between my spine and my shoulder blades. So giving myself a nice little bear hug, kind of getting on one side of the spine, right behind the shoulder blades. And then just kind of rolling over. I'm going to open up my lat a little bit, put my hand behind my head, and just get some of that stuff underneath my armpit. Kind of rolling over into my lat. I got a really tight lat insertion there today. But just working all the way down. Again, moving kind of the length of that rib cage. You want to open that space up. Again, you can move around a little bit, get some different angles in there, and that's going to change the way you feel it, open up some different tissues for you to dig into. And with all this foam rolling, we really want to make sure it's to pain tolerant. So if something hurts really, really bad, find a way to take a little bit of pressure off. So if I'm laying here on a lat and it hurts really bad, just kind of give a little crunch to pick up some of that weight. Relax into it as much as you can. You don't want to go to the point where things hurt. It's not going to necessarily be a comfortable sensation if you find one of those trigger points, one of those knots. But you don't want to get to the point where you're doing more harm than good. So make sure it's to pain tolerance. Make sure it's something you can relax into. If you're really fighting it and tensing up, maybe try to come back a different day, and over time this will get better as well. So give it some time to desensitize itself, and you'll find that it gets better over time.